Howdy guys. I'm going to talk a little bit about over-penetration. There's been some discussions on a couple different 9mm versus 45 and all that videos that I've made. And one of the comments being made was over-penetration's an issue. You don't want to shoot through somebody and into somebody else. Well, I've just spent about 2 hours searching the internet for legitimate cases of that actually happening. And I'm not going to say it doesn't happen or hasn't happened, but after sitting and doing a lot of reading on realistically the realities of the situations, and more often than not, there was extenuating circumstances in every case. There's a case where a cop shot a dude at point blank range, and the bullet passed through him and hit the dude's wife coming down the steps. There's another case of where the bullet hit minimal amounts of meat somewhere in the armpit region of the suspect and passed through and hit somebody else. The whole point is, I can't find any legitimate cases where somebody has shot through a human being, center mass strike, the bullet passed through them, carried any significant distance, and caused lethal injuries on another human being. Like I said, I'm not going to argue that the logic's not there. I'm not going to argue that the ballistics data and all that isn't there for the possibility of it. But I think you should be way more concerned with shot placement than you are over penetration. How well will any caliber, 9mm, 22, whatever it is, carry through drywall? Double up buckshot, stuff that you might find in your house, and you're shooting through walls. If you miss, the amount of energy them bullets transfer from wall to wall to wall to wall is vastly argued, and I'm not even going to get into that argument. What I want to get in, the point is, the biggest problem it seems to be with all ammunition is finding a bullet that gets the proper penetration when it hits, center mass strike, when it hits, massive muscle tissue such as the heart, or bone plate, ribs, stuff like that. It seems to be the problem to find a bullet that'll get good, massive depth of penetration with all those factors in there, going through clothing, so on and so forth. So the reality of getting a bullet to transfer through a human body, center mass strike, and on into other people, innocent bystanders, one, you should really be paying attention to what's beyond your target. I know in a times life situation that might be a little bit more difficult than what it's easier to say than do, but the reality of it is you're responsible for each of your bullets until they come to pass. Now, I can't find one case, not one, and if you find one, please put it up here because I'd like to have the information, but I can't find one case of where there's a good center mass strike, the bullet passes through, carries any significant distance, I mean more than 20 feet, and hits another human being. And I can't find any case whatsoever where in that situation the person that was struck by the bullet had legal liability or legal action taken against the person that actually pulled the trigger. Meaning, if there is that horrific pass-through that goes through, the magic bullet that goes through all that stuff, I can't find any case where anybody's been sued for it. So, ultimately, I think you should spend a little less time worrying about what's going to happen when if the bullet, oh my God, should, just miss a rib and pass through lung and not touch a rib on the other side and go out the back and carry 25 feet and have enough kinetic energy. And why don't you worry about your shot placement? You need to go out and train and train and train and train until when you put sights on the target and you press the trigger, you are going to have that center mass strike. Once you have that center mass strike, now you have bone plate, hearts, lungs, livers, spinal column, the back ribs, whatever it is, to bust up that bullet and take away its kinetic energy. So just some food for thought. Not saying to not be cognate, pay attention to the theory of overpenetration, but I think you need to be spending a whole lot more time worrying about making your bullets land where they should. Because if you put one shot in the sternum, the big problem you're going to have is getting enough penetration at that point. So anyway, just a little bit of food for thought. I'm Mac from Double Tap Shooting. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks, and have a good day.